The season of discovery is upon us. World of Warcraft has never been as popular since the release of Classic WoW back in 2019. Blizzard is firing on all cylinders. Classic Cataclysm is coming, the World Soul Saga is heading to retail, but what might be the most exciting of all is what we're getting right now. The season of discovery is essentially Classic Plus, a wishlist item for the WoW players. It's basically Classic WoW but with a twist. New locations, new enemies, new skills, new items, new quests, a new experience. What's new? What's old? Is the season of discovery worth the hype? However exciting season of discovery is, we have to be honest, 75%, if not more, is vanilla WoW, how we love and hate it. If you're expecting a completely new game, you will have to manage your expectations. It's a nostalgia trip, remaking my Orc Hunter character as I remembered it from 15-20 years ago. Going through your race introduction cutscene, ending on your character surrounded by tons of other players just excited to play the game as you are. Even though it might not be as popular as when Classic WoW launched initially, a lot of players were ready to go. It led to long queues with 10,000 plus players and over 150 minutes. Luckily, yours truly lucked out and got immediately in with no disconnects whatsoever, so I was spared that agony. Nostalgia might be a big appeal of Classic, there are some aspects that I wish I didn't have to relive. There is no sharing of mob tagging. With the amount of people at launch, this means you're competing with other players for kills. Camping spawn points for boars, tigers or tail lasher eggs might be funny at first, but it gets old really quick. Having to queue for a Burning Legion shaman because you need his medallion shows some of the flaws of this 20-year-old game. In the end, the positives weigh heavier than the negatives. Despite competing for kills and loot, players party up and work together. It shows a social aspect that probably no other game has ever been able to replicate in 20 years. It's that social aspect, amongst others, that brought people back to Season of Discovery. And we haven't even talked about the new stuff they added. However nostalgic Classic WoW might be, we're playing Season of Discovery for the new stuff they added. In the beginning areas, the new stuff all revolves around the runes and how you get them. These runes should change the way you have played your character in Classic. A tank warlock, healer mage, or in my case as a hunter, a melee close combat hunter which should pack a punch. You'll get your first runes pretty quickly. The hunter trainer gave me my first rune, Explosive Shot, while the Scorpid Sarkot dropped the rune Chimera Shot. Both initially very strong runes, as Explosive Shot did a lot of damage on hit and Chimera Shot had a 125% weapon damage. At this point, however, both have been nerfed. Explosive Shot does significantly less damage and Chimera Shot went down to 85% weapon damage. It shows the devs are on top of things and not afraid to make changes where they deem them necessary. But not all runes are that easy to get. As I travel further into Durotar, I encounter a frozen Mukrora not far from Razor Hill. It's one of the new mobs they put in the game. The only way to defrost it is with fire skills. It drops a rune for shamans and warlocks. It's one of the more fun ways to get your runes, as you have to work together with other players in a way Classic hasn't done before. On the northernmost Echo Isles, they added a new elite white tiger. You can not only kill it, but you can also tame it. But to do so, you need to lure it with pig meat. This pig meat is obtainable by killing elder model boars, which you can find more in the west of Durotar. If it wasn't for other players, I still would be figuring that one out. The game also added new items like adder pheromones. It drops from Kilbor and can be used by hunters to tame adder critters. Now, there happens to be a snake charmer in Razor Hill looking for a replacement adder after losing his favorite one. The snake charmer has no quest marker whatsoever indicating this. Players rushing by, they would never know. It shows that the game pushes you to search in every nook and cranny and talk to every NPC. It truly embodies the feeling of discovery it's going for. This has only been my experience throughout the starting areas. More runes lie waiting in distant lands. A Ashen Vale turned into an open world PvP zone with special mounts beckons. Last but not least, Blackfathom Deeps dungeon turned into a raid will test my newfound skills like never before. Once I've played it all, I'll come back with my final impressions on the Season of Discovery. Now, some might say the new stuff is not substantial enough. I would agree with that, but I would counter that the Season of Discovery is more exciting because what it can be than what it is right now. And as far as I'm concerned, it's off to a good start. Until next time.